Hello, welcome. Marlene here. Today we're making some emoji cookies so that we can accurately express our emotions. And now on to the step-by-step tutorial. Printed my emojis to the size that I wanted them. This is a piece of glass that I'm laying on top of them. And now I'm grabbing, you can use leftover icing. I'm using white right now. And I'll be tracing the design onto the glass here. Now that these are done, I'm just going to let them dry overnight and then I'll be able to use them as my press. Colored my cookie dough yellow and my hands. Now I've rolled out the dough and I'm using my glass press. My little faces have dried overnight and so now I can press them into the dough. I can only get this side in first, so give it a good press. There we go. And now I'm going to put a piece of saran wrap on the face there and center the cutter. And now I'm cutting. This is going to give me like a nice beveled edge on my cookie, kind of more like the emojis. The emojis look like they're popping out. They look like they're like ping pong balls or something. There we go. If I can get these two off. I've just rolled out some chocolate cookie dough using the thinnest of the Dough Easy rolling guides. And now I've got two cookie cutters, 2 rounds, and yes, it would be great if I had the larger of my nesting cutters, but I can't find it. I'm notorious for misplacing my stuff. Okay, so I'm using the bigger cutter and I'm cutting the chocolate dough. This cutter is not sharp. It's not giving me a great cut, but at least you see I don't like it. Okay, I'm just going to run through. This one's no good. It got warped. All right, I've cut out all my shapes and you're better to remove the excess dough as opposed to your discs to ensure that your shapes are good. This one's not good. Got wonky when I cut it. All right, I'm removing my extra dough here and I'm going to pop these in the freezer to further ensure that they do not get wonky on me. Here are the emojis. I've got some of them ready. I'm just brushing on some water on those chocolate discs I made earlier. The water will just help the yellow parts stick. Here I have some flour. There we go. And now gently, these aren't refrigerated yet. I didn't want them hard so that they could really go to the shape of the base of the chocolate cookie. If you have 2 crackers stacked, they don't really meld together, you know, 2 hard things. And now, make sure you don't have any chocolate crumbs on the yellow part. That'll kind of make it look less polished. And now we're going to pop these in the freezer. So we're doing a little experiment on a couple of these emoji cookies to see if we can get away with not using icing. I've got an egg yolk here in my piping bag, just an egg yolk and a couple of drops of airbrush food gel. Just the reason I use airbrush food gel, it just mixes better, easier, not better, easier. The gel, you really have to like get the clumps out. This is completely liquid. So also grocery store food color is very liquid. And I'm just very carefully filling in the little eye cavities. The smile here. And if it's not spreading too, like less is more, don't fill too much. You can kind of move it around with a toothpick. So if you're not, you know, getting it exactly where you want, just take a toothpick and kind of like so. There. And let's see how that bakes to see if we can get away with an easier version for some of you that might not be keen on making a batch of icing and dealing with all that. I think my head might explode. Like seriously, look at that. That's crazy. I mean, I'm blown away by this. So this is what they look like. There's no icing on these. This is just the egg yolk baked. So it's shiny like that. Not the craziest thing you've ever seen. So now I'm going to do some with icing, but I wish I'd done them all like this. I'm absolutely blown away. Blown away, seriously. Loving this doing nothing thing. So yeah, on to the icing. I'm going to try to calm down. Just want to show you how I finished off these cookies. Now, these I showed you earlier. So these are done using an egg yolk and black food color, and you can see there, it creates a very effective, you know, coloring for the face. But if you want to use icing, I'm going to show you how I did that. Now you can see the indentation, even after baked, it's still there, and that helps you to know where to put your lines. And I'm working in royal icing. You could also work, I think, in some melted chocolate. Just make sure the hole is small, since chocolate can be a little bit runnier and a little bit tougher to kind of control as to where it goes. But since you have these little cavities, it should be pretty good. Now here I'm just making sure the eye is healed, the eyebrow over here, and now the little winking eye, and the smile. You could crank these out pretty quickly if you were making a large batch, especially with the egg yolk. I have to say that was quite a surprise how well that particular technique worked. And an egg yolk is thick, and so it wasn't super runny, it wasn't hard to control. And there is our little winking emoji. The only thing I don't like about these is like the icing sticks out. I really like the look of this one. See, it's completely flat, so I really like that. Last test here, I want to see how it works to put petal dust on a bare cookie. So this little guy usually has blush on about here. And yeah, it works great. There. Super cute. You can add the blush after the icing has dried. Since it's black, it doesn't get impacted by the addition of the color. And I think you could also do an orange edge if you want to darken it up to look more like an emoji. You see they got kind of like a darker, kind of an outer perimeter. I hope you enjoyed today's project. I was pleasantly surprised by this whole egg yolk concoction. I'd love to hear what emoji best expresses your emotions. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Here are some past videos you might also enjoy. Simply either touch the screen or you'll find the links in the description box. You can follow me on social media, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free.